Hello everyone, welcome to the Captain's Video Vlog. We are Tuesday, August the 23rd, 2016. So, we're probably like quarter of an hour away from the start of Smackdown, which I am really more interested into because on Raw, well, there's no Sasha for the next month because, injuries and probably also going on a honeymoon. And Finn Balor is officially out for 6 months. So um, I just mean, all right. Why can't we have nice things, huh? Um, yeah. Anyway, he, logically relinquished his Universal title. He will need surgery, and 6 months that puts us around the time of the Royal Rumble. I you know, here's hoping that he wins the thing. Um, so instead of just giving Seth the title, what? Because that would be way too easy. Um, the authority, Stephanie and Mick Foley have decided that they are going to do 4 matches because there were people in the ring. Um, 4 matches to determine who would be going, for the title next week on Raw. There's going to be a fatal four-way between the winners of the 4 matches. So the first match was Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins, and I just hope it's a work and that Sami Zayn isn't injured because holy shit, Seth Rollins, what are you doing? Or maybe it's the belt. Maybe the belt is cursed. Throw it in the fire. Um, it's just the logical thing to do right now. Order a new design. Just forget about this one. It's gonna give fuel for Daniel Bryan tonight on Talking Smack. That's one thing. That's one good thing because God, Talking Smack is just great. So yeah, first match, Seth Rollins won against Sami Zayn. Okay, cool. Why not? So Seth is the first qualified for the match. Then I'm gonna go through the 4 matches, just so that I'm just out of complaining to do. Next match I think was Kevin Owens versus. I'm just trying to remember who that was because I remember that later in the evening, Big Cass faced Rusev. Rusev, who wasn't in the ring at all, because it makes sense. Roman Reigns comes out, he's injured. Rusev, so obviously Rusev isn't going to be in the ring. What? So Rusev lost to Big Cass by countout because it was like fuck that shit. I'm gonna match my way to being the greatest US champion ever. Kevin Owens won. He won with a little help from Chris Jericho, who made the distraction. Chris Jericho, on the other hand, couldn't win against Roman Reigns, who had a very good match. Now, hear me out. Roman Reigns can wrestle. He has heavily improved, vastly improved since the early days of his push. What he cannot do is have any kind of stamina, any kind of mic skills, which is very strange if you see the quality of the promos by AJ Styles and the quality of the commentating by Daniel Bryan. And he's just a shit character. I mean, how can you stand for his values? I don't understand when Jimmy Corderas, for example, goes on Twitter and says, yeah, because it's SmackDown. Have you seen what he has done at SummerSlam? At SummerSlam, may I remind you, the referee said no match. Rusev is injured, no match. What did Roman Reigns do? A spear after that. So he has heard it. He answered way too violently to some kind of shit talking. This is just if you can talk the talk. That's not what a good guy does. I know he says he's not a good guy, he's not a bad guy, he's the guy, but in the head of creative, he is still the good guy. He is acting for the good people, you know. And I just this is some kind of bullshit. But to be fair, Raw was just great stuff, but I mean, great wrestlers and not so great stories being weaved. You know, for example, the Club. They had an okay match, an okay tag match against the New Day, but the New Day retained by disqualification. Yeah, that makes sense. The faces retained by disqualification. Why not? They celebrated their loss. I mean, they didn't go out and say out loud that they celebrated the fact that they lost, but they celebrated being champions for 365 days, despite the fact that yesterday at SummerSlam they lost. The Club came out and reminded them that no, they lost. There's nothing to celebrate. Carl Anderson had a match with Big E, and Big E won because sure, biggest threat to your title, and just okay, why not? And then the Club came back later when the Dudleys, they are retiring. Oh god. I thought that this was going to be another Mark Henry 2013, I think, thing, you know, when he came with the salmon jacket and he worked everyone so well, like, oh, I ain't going anywhere till I'm the WWE champion. That was great stuff. God, I remember when he dropped the John Cena like that, and just, you know, I was nearly crying watching this segment, and then, you know, because it was just so convincing. I'm coming home, baby, and then bam on John Cena, and then just a waste of an angle, because John Cena at the time was still booked as, you know, super big match John. I like him better when he's a bit vulnerable. Makes, you know, the hero thing more. He conveys better the whole I'm a hero, look at me. So yeah, Leslie is retired, and the Shining Stars came out, and I was like, okay, you're sending the Dudleys out on magnificent thing. They're gonna put some assholes through tables, and no, because the Club came out and one magic killer outside, one magic killer through a table. What does that prove? That proves that the Club can beat up old people who are retiring, but not the champions. Other things. Braun Strowman won against a man who said that he liked big sweaty men. Oh, WWE is not homophobic at all. And then, I mean, he had him once, and then he went to the referee and said, yeah, I'm pinning him again. And the referee was like, no, you pinned him correctly, fuck off. Well, he didn't say fuck off, he said, no, but you're not really pinning him. And Braun Strowman was like, hey, shut up. That's my segment. And then 1, 2, 3, once again outside, because, you know, gotta remain professional. What is this dumb cat doing? Huh? Dumb cat. My cat is very dumb. Not on the table. So yeah, Titus O'Neil had a promo that was certainly something. He said, yeah, who's even Bob Backlund, am I right? And Bob Backlund came out and he put him in a cross-faced chicken wing because shut up. And then he just dispatched Bob Backlund and then he did the thing with Darren Young, and yeah, like woohoo. So Titus O'Neil is apparently only good on commentary, because I remember like last year or 2 years ago, just wonderful stuff on commentary with Darren Young, basically shutting up JBL. This is just magnificent commentary work. Bailey made her debut. Amazing. What a pop she got, and she won against Dana Brooke. Yeah, because Charlotte was like, hey, what happened Saturday? Well, she didn't say that, but what happened Saturday? You can forget about that. I'm not gonna get emotional for you anymore. And I was thinking, like, the last time you said that, Charlotte, Bailey kicked your teeth in, and she won the women's title from you. Now, what I don't understand is that 3 out of the 4 horsewomen of NXT are on Raw, making Becky Lynch, and well, I'm gonna get very smarky. Becky Lynch is probably the one with the most storied history of fights outside of the WWE, and yet she hasn't held the NXT title, NXT Women's title, just one single minute. She had chances though, but she lost to Sasha Banks, to Charlotte, not to Bailey. Thank God. And now she's the only one on Smackdown, this division that's going to be surely dominated by Nikki Bella, because of course he's going to be. So yeah, I mean, it should have been 2-2. 2 on Smackdown, 2 on Raw. Since Sasha and Charlotte are on Raw, it just would have been great sense to have Bailey on Smackdown. Could have fueled Becky, I guess. But no. Let's be logical here. What else was there on Raw? There were there were a couple of segments I don't really remember. Did Neville have a match? I'm not sure. Those 3 hours, I wouldn't say that they went by, but they sure went. They sure existed. Those were 3 hours. And even a little bit more, because they went over time with the main event once again. So yeah, I mean, I'm fairly sure that there was something. No, I'm pretty sure that I covered everything. I just don't remember yet who was Kevin Owens' opponent, because there was Seth Rollins. Maybe it was Enzo. That sounds weird. Why would Enzo? Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe it was Neville. No, Neville had a match against Sheamus. Yeah. No. Who did Neville had a match against? Yeah, Sheamus versus Cesaro. Their next match is not happening on Raw, because, okay, sure, why not? Let's, it's the best of 7. I would guess that the other 6 weeks, what happened in 6 weeks? Not even the Smackdown special is in 6 weeks. You could have built something. How long are you going to go for? Like, is it going to be? Is the 7th match going to be at the Survivor Series? Oh God, I just hope not. In a kind of a Feast of Fire match. Well, losers goes home. I don't know, but it doesn't really feel great. Speaking about Raw. Anyway, so what else was there to talk about? Nothing really. Just apparently the boss of Marseille, of the Olympique de Marseille, sounds pretty pissed about everyone's talking about the club being sold, as if it was going to hurt the selling process. I mean, to me, it very much sounds like the club is just about to be sold, but it's been that way for months and months, because as soon as she announced it, I thought, yeah, that sounds that it might be actually pretty close. But if you hear from Marseille, from the bosses of Marseille, it's like, no, it's not really that way. And if you hear from the people who are trying to buy, it's like, yeah, we have a very sound project, and we've talked with pretty much everyone. And I mean, if it were only about us, we would already be the bosses, and we would have brought back Bielsa and 8 players and 800 million euros of budget. I mean, that is all very disheartening, because the 3rd match of the season is only on Friday against L'Oreal, and the team still doesn't look like it will go far. Like, if it goes over the 10th place, I will be happy, I guess. So yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.